Good morning. As a member of our 50th anniversary committee, I would like to share some history and memories of St. Paul's Lutheran Church, North Bangor. I am sort of a history buff, so bear with me as I share some history and memories. St. Paul's Lutheran Church was located in North Bangor on Old Route 90. The building is still there, but is now on Lake Mincy Drive. In the year 1890s, Sunday school was conducted in the Wolf Schoolhouse located in North Bangor. In 1894, the Sunday school was organized as a Lutheran Sunday school under the direction of Reverend B.F. Apple and the Reverend E.A. Yale, who were pastors from Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church in Bangor. On April the 9th, 1898, the congregation was organized under the name St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church. John Stiles, who was a member of Trinity Bangor, was contracted to erect the building. After the completion of the edifice, he returned his profits back to St. Paul's. A.J. Delp, also a member of Trinity Evangelical Lutheran in Bangor, funded the cost of the construction with the stipulation that the loan be paid back at $100 a year. On April the 3rd, 1898, the cornerstone was laid, and July the 10th, 1898, the church was dedicated. On March the 21st, 1898, the first congregational meeting, it was decided that part of the church property be used as a cemetery, and any member could be buried there at no charge. The cemetery was expanded over the years. When the church merger was being discussed, St. Paul's Council voted to name the cemetery grounds North Bangor Cemetery and incorporate it. The members of St. Paul's were from the North Bangor area and also from Trinity Evangelical. The members from Trinity Evangelical attended St. Paul's because the church's location was closer to their residences. From 1878 to 1968, there were 5 supply pastors from Trinity Evangelical. The first is the Reverend B.F. Apple. The second was the Reverend E.A. Yale. The third was Reverend D.F. Green. Those 3 I don't remember. The fourth was Dr. J. Frederick Stolde. He's the one that I remember, of course. And the fifth one was the Reverend William E. Dennis. They were our supply pastors from Trinity. St. Paul's always enjoyed a close relationship with Trinity Evangelical. This photo is the chandelier which adorned St. Paul's sanctuary and was donated to Trinity, donated to Trinity from President Grover Cleveland through the efforts of the Reverend B.F. Apple. President Cleveland and B.F. Apple were close friends, and they both were from Ohio. After the merger, Trinity asked that the chandelier be returned to them. I visited Trinity, where it resides in their balcony, to take this photo, and it looks as pristine now as it did when it supplied the lighting at St. Paul's Sanctuary. On January the 1st, 1963, St. Paul's became a self-sustaining church, and the Reverend Louis Ewald from St. John's Lutheran Church, Penargil, was assigned as supply pastor, until the merger with Grace Evangelical and Faith United. Janet and I attended Sunday school and church at St. Paul's as children, teenagers, and adults. These are some of the memories that Janet and I remember. Sunday school took place in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, and church was followed at 3 o'clock. St. Paul's was originally a mission church of Trinity. The pastors from Trinity Evangelical led worship services at St. Paul's. The building had one main floor with 1 or 2 steps up to the altar and a communion rail. As you entered the church, there was a large closet on the right side with double doors. I remember this closet because it was the only storage area in the church. The choir was seated on the right side of the altar, which composed of several women. Mona Rutt was from Trinity Evangelical and also was our pianist every Sunday and held choir practice every week. At our church picnics, food was served from a large building located on the right side of the church. There was a bandstand which was constructed on top of a stone row. The band which played there, to my recollection, was called the Blue Valley Band. Janet remembers the heating system, which was a very large coal furnace and stood on the main floor, as needed to be started each Sunday during colder weather. 2 or 3 men from the congregation did this faithfully for years. Christmas Eve service in the 60s were always memorable. Sitting in the cold, dark church, lit only by candles on the altar and the windowsills. As the wind came through the drafty windows, it danced the flames of the candles. In 1955, the church was raised for the excavation of a basement. The basement consisted of a kitchen, a large room used for Sunday school and fellowship, and a hallway leading to the much-needed restrooms and a new heating system. My brother Larry and I attended Sunday school every Sunday. Our father passed away when I was 10, and my brother was 8. Our mother was very instrumental in our religious beliefs. We are so grateful today for her fortitude in raising us in a difficult time. As I grew older, I remember Melvin Steinmetz. He was one of my Sunday school teachers. He taught me the 10 Commandments, the Lord's Prayer, and the Apostles' Creed. Janet and I completed our catechism, and we were confirmed. May the 23rd, 1964, was a special day for Janet and I at St. Paul's. Pastor Louis Ewald united us in marriage. The Willing Workers Circle at St. Paul's, which was a women's organization, contracted Mr. Robert Doney, a local artist from Penargil, to paint this photo, which was placed behind the altar at St. Paul's. This artwork is now displayed in our narthex. Janet and I were so blessed to be members of St. Paul's Lutheran Church. The teachings and guidance that we received at St. Paul's was important in our growth. It taught us the meaning of volunteering and giving back to God's work at St. Paul's and here at Prince of Peace. I was on council in 1971 at St. Paul's when the decision was made to merge with Grace Evangelical and Faith United. I thought the merger would be a difficult transition. It meant traveling with my family and friends to a new location and into a new building and meeting people that I didn't know. I am so thankful that God gave us His energy and spirit to accomplish this move into the future. I can't express how important I believe in our history. It should never be forgotten, and hopefully our future congregation members at Prince of Peace will visit the past as we have. In the narthex, the display of crosses, Bibles, chalices, scrapbooks, and memorabilia from Faith United and Grace Evangelical and St. Paul's are the history of the members of those three congregations. It was their strength and determination to close their doors and become one congregation. This is the last temple talk of St. Paul's, North Bangor, Grace Evangelical, East Bangor, and Faith United, Johnsonsville. Before you leave church this morning, please take time to visit the past in the narthex. Let us never forget the past and history of these three congregations. And now, let us all move forward and celebrate our 50 years at Prince of Peace Evangelical Lutheran Church. Thank you.